Hello friends, welcome to the WisMods channel. Today we will be discussing the Lucas Carroll scales, as you saw from the title. Lucas Carroll is a very cool guy. He started with a smaller selection of knives, or specifically knife scales, but I'm glad to see that he has gradually and steadily been increasing the diversity of the brands that he offers and models as well. I've been making knife scales for over 20 years, but not for commercial intents and purposes, but for basically modifying. If you're a subscriber to this channel, you already know that I've modified maybe 60-70% of production knife scales for the reason that they just don't fit my needs. They're not ergonomic, they're not as comfortable as they could be, even though the knives themselves, the blade sections, etc. are awesome. I very frequently find the need to upgrade the scales and consequently the sheaths quite often, because once you upgrade the scales, the width, the shape is different and they frequently don't fit the original sheaths anymore, so I have to upgrade those as well. I want to quickly run through the selection of brands that Lucas makes scales for: 1881 Knife Works, Acta Non Verba, Epoch Survival Tools, BPS Knives, Buck, Castrum, Cold Steel, EK Knives, EKA, TRG1, Essie, Folkniven, Giant Mouse, Kershaw, Ka-Bar, Kaiser, Lion Steel, Medford, Ontario Knife Company, Reef, Slick Knives, Spyderco, Tour, Tops Handles, White River Knives, Work Tough Gear Handles, Vosted, XK&T. So, yeah, I love you too. Yeah, you're a good boy. Okay. You too. Obviously, these brands have different models, and he makes scales for a variety of models from these brands. Okay, now let me work, please. Please, yeah, I love you too. I love you too. So I recently did a review of the White River Knives Ursus line, the Ursus 45 and Ursus Cub. And I actually listed them in another review video that I did as the best value and the best overall universal outdoors knives. These blades are absolutely awesome as they come from the factory. And he also makes scales for them. And these are the original scales, which are Burlap Micarta. This is brown and black. Both awesome feeling, awesome shaped, very, very nice scales from the factory. But with the Lucas Carroll scales upgrades, these knives jump up to yet another level. Let's quickly look at the contouring, the difference, right? So we have a pronounced palm swell and these concaved sections that allow for a very, very comfortable, secure, non-slip grip. This is a Sure Touch version, which is G10 lined with rubber, and this will demonstrate better how much thicker and contoured these scales are compared to the originals. The size is the same, of course, in terms of length, but in the width and in the shape, this is significant improvement and upgrade. And for the Ursus 45, this is the original, and this is Lucas Carroll scales. And having been working with scales and doing my own upgrades, trust me, I understand what a work knife handle should feel like, and I'll show you some examples here that I've done on my knives and how I like them. This is one, and you see the same contouring, not the same exact, but very similar, what is usually called a Coke bottle shape, but there is variations, right? So palm swell and flaring out on both ends, allowing for a chopping grip as well as close-up, secure, comfortable, hard work grip. This is why I appreciate what Lucas Carroll is doing. This is another one. This is actually a Hogue by Elushewitz. It's a Hogue knife that was originally a survival / outdoors camp knife, more towards a survival purpose. But you see how I've contoured, changed the entire thing, actually had to grind down sections of the handle, and now this is one of the most comfortable choppers and big knives, doing both delicate and more sizable, larger type of work. And obviously I've had to upgrade the sheath. I make my own sheath. This is another example, again contouring. This is a YP, a Swedish or finish, I don't remember, blade, hand forged, and I bought a blank blade and then made a handle out of it. Again, you see significant contouring, a palm swell, and it just melts into your hand. And let me show you why I upgrade my knife scales. This is a Tops BOB. Not much has changed since I've purchased it, other than they've also made it in 154 cm steel. This is 1095 with perma-blue applied to the sharpened section of the blade. But they didn't really change the scales. And this was a collaboration of 5 so-called bushcrafters. I'd say this is a very bad handle considering who it was made by. If it was made just by, I don't know, another brand, just going for the looks or whatever, without the bushcrafting and outdoors expertise, I would not judge it as hard as I do. But knowing that there were bushcrafters and 5 of them involved, maybe, I don't know, maybe they were hindering each other's ideas, but clearly this handle sucks and there is plenty of complaints about this handle. The blade section itself is quite good, and this could have been a nice outdoors knife, but as it comes from the factory, I just haven't gotten around to it. And yeah, I was so disappointed with the overall knife that I just didn't spend time upgrading the scales on this case. But it's a good example of a production popular bushcraft outdoors knife where I found definite need to upgrade the scales. This time I received from Lucas Carroll a pair of scales for the Ka-Bar BK line. These scales fit the BK15, 16, 17 and BK18 models. They're all the same because Becker has found a quite good formula for a handle, much better than, again, the Tops BOB and many other knives. The BK2, BK7, BK9, he's got already established and accepted in the wider bushcrafting community shape of scales, which is this without the yellow or green and red liners. The original was without the liners. Of course, this is basically a form of plastic, so low quality compared to G10, Micarta and Lux even, and I just didn't find these being comfortable, so I thought I would just add liners, giving it some improved visual appearance as well as adding thickness to this, and it worked fine until I got the scales from Lucas. Now I want you to pay attention to the difference. It won't be as evident here as on this one. So what I really appreciate in his scales is that he doesn't just copy the original shapes, upgrading the materials alone. He starts basically from zero. This is a completely different handle than this. Obviously on the G10, this is Lux, and I will tell you what the material is here shortly. Same with the G10 or any other material. He has the basic same shape of scales, but he changes up the materials that he offers. Now if you look at this, it has different contours. It has a longer palm swell, and I'd say this is more of a generic shape, and it's not as comfortable as Lucas's scales. And that's how it looks on the knife. It has a better grip. It is thicker up top here as well as on the bottom, and these flare outs you see are done to a lower section compared to the original. On the original, the contours start on both the upper and lower sections. They start earlier than on Lucas's version of the scales. Definitely a worthy upgrade. And one thing I also want to mention, this is the original sheath. It's a combination of nylon and there is a plastic insert inside, and the knife still fits the original sheath, even though this is slightly thicker. As you can see, it fits the original sheath quite well, and obviously the same applies for the Lux handle scales. Let me quickly show you how the knife looks with these scales on. So this is how the Lux scales look on the BK16. Again, awesome look, and actually a much better balance in the handle, as the G10 is significantly heavier than the Lux. I like the visual as well. And there you go. Go to his website. I will have in the description below. I'll have a discount code for you. Quite a few of my viewers have been using the discount codes. That's through an affiliate link, which of course, instead of adding any expense to you, it on the contrary gives you a discount. But I also get a little kickback, and I appreciate very much all of you that use my discount codes. That supports the channel. As I've already mentioned, he has a bunch of brands and models that he offers scales for, and most likely if you are a knife collector, you will find plenty of blades and options in different materials that you'll be able to select through. Very, very cool scales, very good designs. By the way, this particular scales was a collaboration. Again, if you watch knife channels, you most likely know Gideon's Tactical, Aaron, and Aaron collaborated with Lucas to create these awesome scales. Aaron has been in the knife community on YouTube for I think 15 years, and he definitely understands knives just like Lucas does, and a combination of those two brains resulted in these awesome knife scales. What is Dimalux? This may look like a Micarta or maybe even G10, but it's actually not. Dimalux is a high density resin infused birchwood laminate made from layers of dyed wood veneers compressed under extreme heat and pressure with phenolic resin. It functions like a wood plastic composite. It resists water, heat, and warping, making it popular for durable knife handles and firearm grips. So what I can say is it kind of feels like wood, but like boxwood, like some sort of very hard wood, obviously because of the manufacturing process that it involves. And it is significantly lighter than the G10 or Micarta counterparts. It is, if you've felt hardwoods, very hardwoods, again, like something like boxwood, it probably is of the same weight, but again, it resists water, heat, it doesn't warp because it is layered, it is compressed, etc. So very, very interesting material for knife scales, gun grips, etc. Thank you very much for watching. Again, these are some of the examples of Lucas Carroll scales. I strongly recommend that you check out his website in the description below. If you do like anything, make sure that you use the discount codes. Stay safe, stay healthy. Cheers.